Hi, everyone. Welcome to the PFS People's Food Summit 2024, the African segment. I'm here with Sibonokuhle Moyo, Sibonokuhle, who is also a Zimbabwean like me, a colleague. We actually work together, and it'll be awesome to probably spend a bit of some minutes of her time for her to share her own wisdom with us. Sibo is actually a programs manager at iGugu Trust, where I also work here on the ground in Zimbabwe, a partner also of Regeneration International. She has over 6 years of marketing knowledge. Probably you'll say, okay, what is she marketing? Marketing regenerative courses, where she used to work at the Africa Center for Holistic Management, which is the Savory Hub here in Zimbabwe. Sibo has a vast experience of international programs, exchanges, where she's took part at IDEX, which is an Indian-based global fellowship. But she also has huge experiences of M&E, or monitoring and evaluation of programs, regenerative programs, both from the Savory Center and iGugu Trust, where she currently works as the programs manager, but also overseeing monitoring and evaluation. Sibo, you are welcome. It's a pleasure to introduce you. A bit weird because you're a colleague, a friend, and we've known each other for a long time, but yeah, hi.
Hi, Precious. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Well,
Sibo,
I'm hoping this awkwardness of us knowing each other in different platforms will just be like, it won't affect us like as we are conversing. Because I know
think
it
it will
gets
work
weird,
well
to be
for us,
honest.
to be honest. I think it will work well. So, Sibo, I know you are
Yeah.
in Big Falls this week, but you are
Yes.
also joining Good Africans in Harare at the Seed and Food Festival. Can you please talk to that a little bit? Probably introduce yourself and then talk to what you guys are up to there in Harare.
Okay. Thank you, Precious. Once again, like she has introduced me, but let me say it in my own words. My name is Sibonokuhle Moyo, the programs manager for iGugu Trust. This time around, which is the annual National Seed and Food Festival that we usually hold in Harare, we managed to come with our community members, the farmers that are doing amazing work on the ground. However, because of the El Nino effects, we couldn't harvest much to have like seed banks or to restock our seeds, just like we do usually every year. So what happened is we had to come the site in Harare where we met with different farmers from different regions across Africa as well, where we wanted to network just to understand how are they doing the seed and food systems in their areas, and also to restock our seeds, because we are nearly getting to the rain season. So very soon we might be receiving rains. And according to like the data that we're getting from Agritech's office, we're likely to get early rain. So we want to prepare sooner than regretting that we could have, if only. So yeah, basically those are the two reasons that brought us to Harare. And it was such a great opportunity, to be honest. It was, because we learned a lot. And it was also inspirational because there are some areas that are like our area that were able at least to harvest something. So those were great lessons for us as well as farmers that we work with. Thank you, Precious.
Thanks, Sibo, and so beautiful. I know you've met lots of partners as well, so it's quite awesome. So I know you're very keen to share with us the community work that you guys are doing with iGugu Trust. This is airing, or this is a recording for World Food Day, but World Food Day is not substantive without every other pillar that makes agriculture hold together, especially regenerative agriculture. So we're very keen for you to share with the world your story and how you fit into the whole picture with the communities that you work with. Please take the stage, whether you have images or PowerPoint, feel free to share. And then I think in the process, we'll also be free to just explore and chit chat as you are sharing your photos. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Precious, for the platform. Well, as I'll be sharing with you our work, let me say that this is quite an exciting opportunity to be talking on such a platform, which is globally. Honestly, we are so excited to be sharing our story with you. So today I'm going to talk about regenerative action practices, which is so far for us is like a journey of endless opportunities for agro-pastoralists. The reason being that when you look at regenerative agriculture, it's not like a prescribed process whereby if you do A, you get B, but it is like a journey where anything can happen anytime and anyhow. All you have to be certain of is what is your goal at the end of the day and how you can maneuver the journey of achieving what you have planned for. So basically, that is our story. It's not like a prescribed story where I can tell you that if you do A, you get the B results that we have done. But these approaches, you have to contextualize them for them to be successful. So right, I'm going to talk a bit about who we are as an organization. So iGugu Trust was established in 2017 and it was registered in that same year. And iGugu Trust was registered and established in Zimbabwe. So we are locally registered, we are locally established. And also this slide which you are seeing there, it also shows our journey in brief on how we moved from registration and establishment to the implementation level. So that was in 2017 when we did all the processes of establishment and registering. And then in 2020, we started mobilizing communities so that we can start at least implementation. However, you can see there is a gap of almost a year when we started mobilizing, and then there is implementation in 2021. So what happened is we had a challenge of the COVID-19, which affected globally everyone. So we had to pause a bit on our work. And then in 2021, we started now our implementation. So basically, our main focus is to build resilience and foster regenerative norms. And below our main focus, you can see a map, and where there's that red color and just a little bit a dot there, that is our operational area. So we operate in Kachechete Ward 3, and that is under Wange district. So the communities that we work with, we have got 5 villages that we work with, and they form what we call Ndlovu cluster communities. So that cluster is what I'm going to be talking more than the 5 villages separately, because we've done our work together as a cluster more than individually as villages. So now what you have to understand with the work that we do, it is divided into pillars, because we cannot approach nature-based programs in terms of like just taking them as a one-size-fits-all programs. No, we wanted to tackle them in terms of pillar to pillar, because there are synergies in the work that we do. So we have 4 pillars that we deal with in the program. And those 4 pillars are the landscape regeneration, the ecological crop farming, we've got the seed and food systems, and then we've got the social strengthening pillar. So basically, I'm going to start off with the landscape regeneration pillar. So what we have noticed in our landscape regeneration pillar is that our main focus is we want to regenerate the landscape that we work, like that our communities are located in. So maybe before I get deeper on what we do in landscape regeneration, let me just give you a snapshot of the characteristic of the areas that we work with or that we work in. So the Ndlovu Community Cluster is located in a seasonal rainfall area. And then the annual rainfall that our communities usually receive, they are on a range of 450 millimeters to 650 millimeters annually. So basically, you can picture how much rainfall that we receive. And then the seasons where we receive the rainfall, they are not that much, because they range from, sometimes it's from November to April. But because of these erratic rainfalls, there are times when the last rains that we received were around March. And then the earliest rainfalls that we can say these are good rains for cropping, they start around mid-December to end of December. So what we can say is that our rainfall season has been shortened, and then our dry seasons have been lengthened. So basically that is the snapshot. And also the other characteristic of the areas that we work with, they are located adjacent to national park. So where there is a national park, we've got wildlife. And the challenge is that the communities we work with face are human-wildlife conflicts, where there is predation of their livestock, where there is crop raiding. So in general, that is the kind of communities that we work with, the challenges that they are facing. And those are the very same things that drive us to work with these communities, because we want to work together, at least to manage these challenges in their communities. So now I'm going to move on to talk about landscape regeneration, getting deeper into it and how we do it. So landscape regeneration focuses mainly on the grazing areas and also on livestock health management. So what we have seen is, in most cases, people blame the cow to be the cause of desertification, to be the cause of background. But what we have realized through the use of holistic management, which is a decision-making framework as well as a planning process, is that it's not about the cow, and it's not, but it's more about the how. The how being, what decisions have you made with regards to your land? So that is supposed to be your guiding a plan to say, how do I manage? So now, in our landscape regeneration, we have holistic plant grazing as one of the key components that we use to manage, that we use to prop ourselves to say, what can we do to make our land better? What can we do to make our grazing areas productive? So basically, that's what we do. So what happens is farmers, they are trained on how to do their grazing planning. That is, they do the grazing planning twice in a year because of our seasonal rainfalls that we get and also the dry months that we go through. So basically, our year is divided into 2 seasons. And then during those trainings, community members are equipped with mapping skills. They are equipped with low stress animal handling skills. They are also equipped with skills to read the land, because once there is a decision that is made, especially on the land, you are supposed to be able to read the land, as in to track what changes are happening due to this practice that I am implementing on the land. So we believe that those are the most key skills that farmers need, at least to have close by in their fingertips as they implement this project. And then moving on to the livestock health management component, which we believe is very critical, because our tool to regenerate land is livestock. Hence, at the same time, we have to ensure that our tool is healthy, that our tool is at least free of diseases, that our tool is able to be productive as in reproduce, because you cannot have a herd of livestock that is not reproducing. Eventually you end up losing everything, because as they grow older, they will die, or we have to kill them or sell them. So the livestock health management component of the program ensures that our livestock are vaccinated against the diseases that are rampant in the area that we work in. For example, the lambskin, for example, the hard water, those are some of the diseases that affect them. And also they go through deworming process. And also we do the dosing, where we boost their immune system, especially this year. That the boost was very critical, because our rangelands didn't produce the same way we expected, like in the previous years. So basically, that's what we do under landscape regeneration. And then to add more to that is that in our landscape regeneration, we work with both livestock owners as well as non-livestock owners. So basically, the design of our program is that it doesn't segregate anybody, despite the fact that you own livestock or you don't own livestock. The reason being that everyone benefits, whether you're a livestock owner or non-livestock owner. I'm not so sure whether I've got a question there or any need for clarity before I move on to our next pillar.
No, I'm totally thrilled because of the connection that you are showing, building the fact that it's hard to have copy and paste processes, that one thing
Yeah,
doesn't work for every community. So it's so nice to totally hear you express that you are really maximizing and using tools that are
yes,
relevant to the communities that that you're obviously serving. So
yeah.
it's very nice. So I just wanted to comment.
So maybe
Can
just
go
before I
ahead.
move on to the next slide, the next pillar. So when you're looking at the pictures that we have there on the slide, they are showing different management techniques. Like if you manage your land properly, following the right principles, you can grow the forage that is going to be enough for your livestock. However, if you miss it on how to manage your land will end up degrading and becoming bare, just like in the first picture. So basically for us to run away from having deserts, to run away from having balance, to run away from having gullies forming, we are using livestock. Now, livestock as a tool, we harness the hoof action, one, and also they graze on our forage so that it opens up for regrowth, and then it also tramples whatsoever that it has not eaten. So our land is covered in preparation for the rainy season, because if land is bare, we've got high chances of it being eroded either through water, either through wind. So now if we start losing our topsoil, we end up not having fertile soils. So that's why I want to safeguard as much as we can. They graze, they trample, and also they cover our soil. So now I'm going to move on to the next pillar, which is the ecological crop farming pillar. So the ecological crop farming pillar, I can sum it as healthy livestock lead to healthy soil, which lead to healthy plants and a healthy lifestyle for people. So in the picture there,
Okay,
you can
so like I
see like
really
three,
like this. I wanted
sorry,
to just say, I really like
okay,
the connection to say you don't just
okay,
wake up and obtain a bumper harvest. There are a lot of things that
no, no,
you
no,
need to build at the base, which really
yeah,
speaks to why agriculture then went down south, because everybody
yes,
wanted to have a bumper harvest at whatever cost.
mhm,
We focus on,
true,
I want to harvest enough for my family, but instead of asking ourselves, what do I need and what do I have
yes,
on this landscape that will help me
yeah,
get a healthy harvest? Because whatever you're doing to the soil, you want to be also
mhm,
aware of what other living organisms am I affecting and how. So I just
yeah,
wanted to really
yes.
acknowledge the connections here that you've built, that they're quite wise and good. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Precious, for that. So as I was saying, that my slide is showing like three photos. So we are still using our livestock. So our livestock are very key in this program, both in the landscape regeneration as well as in our ecological crop farming. So now that which we have fed our livestock with to give us the fertilizer that we need is that which is going to be deposited in the crop fields, so the plots where they grow their crops. So basically what happens now in the crop fields is that we crawl our livestock in movable enclosures. And based on the soil type, you can find that those crows can be there for at least 7 days minimum to 10 or 14 days. So that also is determined by the soil type of the area. Moreover, the size of the crop is very critical in terms of the concentration of the manure that you get, which we can say is the organic fertilizer that you get, which you are going to use to grow the crops. So that also, because it's very critical to understand how to get a good concentration of the manure, just like in the photo there, the aerial photo where people are standing, that is one profit plot that was impacted by livestock. So you have to ensure that you calculate the size of the crop based on the number of livestock that you have. Because if you do it so little and you've got to, if you do a small crop and you've got more livestock in it, they are highly to trample each other. But, and also at the same time, if you do a bigger crop with little or few livestock, you are likely to get very little impact on the plot that you have chosen. So basically, you have to balance the size of the crop as well as the number of livestock that you have. So with the farmers that we work with, let me say that we work with 110 farmers, both livestock owners and non-livestock owners. So these farmers have found a way of grouping each other best in terms of the villages that they stay, and also best in the relations that they have with each other. So you find that farmers can group themselves in groups of at least 4 or 10. So from 4 people, they can come together and put their livestock together so that they rotate the mounting as well as having a movable crop in your plot. And also, what you have to understand is that it doesn't have to be like a standard to say how many livestock can you start off with. No, basically you can start with any number of livestock as long as you're going to remember that the size of the crop is determined by the number of livestock that you have. So the maximum number of farmers that we have in a group are 10. So that is the range of number of livestock owners that have formed groups in the area that we work with. So the aerial photo that you are seeing there is of one farmer who is also a village head in the area that we work in and is based in BH23. That is one of the villages that form the cluster. So maybe before I get into the how and why and sorrow and more on that, we are so grateful that we work with these leaders, and they show the passion, and they are also leading even in this program by the example that he was able to have animals in his plot and also to be part of a group that is so interested in improving the soil fertility of their crop fields. It shows us that leaders are very supportive. Our local traditional leaders are very supportive of the program that we do. So now, moving from the aerial photo, you can see on the top right, that is a picture of the crops that have been grown in an animal impacted plot. So in that plot, we have got sorghum and there is maize. And unfortunately, it's not that clear from where you are, but below we have got a live mulching of pumpkins in that field. And also we are so grateful because we've incorporated intercropping, which makes it easier for us to manage the pests and the diseases of crops. So we were trying as much as possible to go organic, to remove pesticides from the equation. So basically that is our story in the ecological crop farming pillar. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the next. So now I'm going to talk about the seed and food systems. Seeds are central to people's food systems and culture. So what we have noticed is seeds are our culture. Seeds are our heritage. And seeds, they define who we are because they define the diet that we consume. So basically, without seed, we cannot talk about culture. Without seed, we cannot talk about the food at the end of the day. So what we have, what you are seeing there on those two pictures, the first one on my left, I hope, I don't know whether it's going to be on your right, but on my left is showing the different varieties of maize and sorghum that are grown at Ndlovu. They are grown locally. They are grown in animal impacted crop fields, and they are grown also in crop fields that have got that are intercropped with other crops. So basically, at the end of the day, should there be a time like where we experience drought, intercropping helps to balance up some losses that can happen in case one crop doesn't perform better. The other one, obviously, it will perform better. So it balances up the harvest that you get. And then on the right side, that picture shows the food that we consume. So if you look closer, there's a pot with some yellow stuff there and some sort of like dotted things. That is our dried maize, which has been boiled. And then we've got, so it's our melon. Let me call it melon in quotes because it falls under the melon family. So that food which you're seeing there, we call it umkanga in our Ndebele dialect. And then the next pot, which is not so clear, or that has been, okay, let me say the next pot, which has got its content served on the plate, is cowpeas that have been boiled. And then the last pot further there, it has got pumpkin. So basically, you can tell the variety of food that we consume, and that keeps us living. So that food and the seeds that we have, they define who we are as a cluster. And also, the other thing that you have to understand is sharing food is one good thing that has brought us together as a cluster. So now I'll be linking this to the next, to the last pillar that we have, which is the social strengthening. The reason being that the same food that we consume is the same food that we share with the visitors that come over for communal tours, the visitors that come to see what we are doing on the ground, and the visitors that are so curious to learn direct from our farmers the journey of regenerative agriculture that they are going through. So we don't change our menu when you're around in case you visit. What we cook in our homestead is exactly what we're going to serve with you, to serve you with. So yeah, don't expect something different. And this forms like the great part of our diet. And the good thing is to say, all these foods, they can be consumed either fresh or dried, especially looking at the cowpeas and the maize. So you can enjoy your maize fresh, you can enjoy your maize dried and boiled for consumption. You can enjoy your peas, the cowpeas fresh, or you can enjoy them boiled with a little bit of salt in them. So now moving on to the next pillar, which is the social strengthening pillar. Okay, just a minute, yes.
No, I think you
Okay,
can
do you
go.
have something to say?
No, it's fine. I was just saying, the beauty of saying, seed and food systems will not work if the broader pillars are not organized, from what I read. But
Yes.
also, because we are from the same tribe and probably same clans,
Yeah.
we do enjoy legume mixtures, the cowpeas. We do enjoy squashes, and that was pumpkin squash, right?
Yeah.
And then the other one that breaks
Yeah.
everyone's
Yes.
tongue, which is umkanga, it's like a dessert, and it's so beautiful and such
Yes.
joyous food. Thanks, Mabo. You can continue.
Okay. Thank you so much, Precious, for the comment. So now I'm gonna talk about the last pillar, which I've already touched on in the previous pillar on the pillar of the seed and food system. So this last pillar is what strengthens our social fabric, because without it, nowhere could move. We need to be on an understanding platform as communities working together So basically, our efforts are to build trust amongst each other and also to cultivate a collaborative mindset. So basically, when you look at development work in generally, somehow there's been a distortion to say organizations that work with community members, they end up working for the community members instead of them working with communities. So that distortion has caused some failures in achieving great results because one group of people are saying, we are working with communities, but the other group of people is saying they are working for us. So there is no mutual understanding on who is who and how they can move forward. So in the social strengthening pillar, people get to mingle, people get to understand each other outside, if I may say in quotes, outside the implementation of the program. Because in this pillar, we are now meeting in sports fields. In this pillar, we are now meeting when we are hosting our visitors. In this pillar, we are now meeting when we are having communal meetings as we plan our work, as we plan on what we can do better and how best can we host our visitors. So basically, this pillar is, I can say, is the most critical that has led either to the failure or success of development projects generally. Because once we miss identifying what our strengths are and how best can we harness our strengths and skills, because farmers as they are, they've got different skill sets. Some are good with cooking, some are good with storytelling, some are good with hosting. So that's what we do in this pillar. It's quite so diverse. It's not only focusing on the sports tournament because we've got a seed fairs, we've got a field fairs where we celebrate the efforts of the work that we do, where we celebrate the farmers and the results that they've achieved. One mentor that I have is always saying that we have to celebrate efforts because failure is not really failure. It's not the end of it, but it is a journey of endless lessons that we get that help us to redesign the work that we have. So it's not like if we fail on achieving something, that is the end of it, then we have to just close, wrap up and leave. No, we have to learn from that failure. Where did you go wrong? And how best can we move forward? So basically this pillar is one of the key components when it comes to strengthening the social fabric of communities that we work with. Okay, I feel like I've been talking too
Yeah,
much.
like, no, it's amazing. And also, you're talking too much because you have such a powerful message. You said you're talking too much. I don't think so. It's such important work. And I think my question is for you, as Sibo, what
Yeah.
are you learning? Why is this so important? This whole thing that you've described, what you are doing with your communities. Again, a powerful statement there. Do you work for the community? Do you work with the community, or you work at the community? Because then I think as a facilitator, you also have to have an ownership, and the community also has to have the same ownership. Sounds like a partnership. So what's your reflection?
Yes.
Why is
Okay.
it important and urgent?
Okay. Trust, if I may say, trust is built on different levels. So it being built on different levels, I can tell you about trust being built with local leaders, trust being built with stakeholders, trust being built with community members who are the farmers, who are even implementing the program. So this pillar for us, it means that if we fail to build trust across all these levels, our design is going to be weak because one component or one group of people might feel like they have been excluded from the implementation or from participating in the program because not everyone is implementing. some people are advisors, just like the government extension officers, and some people are they advocate for the work that we do, just like the farmers. So they are over and above implementers. So if you miss strengthening that social fabric, the stronger you are, the successful you can be. So I feel like you have to ensure that you build trust. You have to ensure that you strengthen your social fabric before you even maybe talk about what project you are going to do. Let them trust you. Let them trust the project that you're bringing. Let them trust the implementation process, because projects are a life cycle. So them being life cycles, different people play different roles. For example, in mobilization, we can tell that the forefront are people that are there over and above us mobilizing the farmers. We have got the leaders that have to understand what we want to do in the community. So if you fail to strengthen your relations in that phase, implementation is not going to be really successful, because people can end up being skeptical to say, if the leaders are failing to understand what they want to do here, who am I as a farmer to adopt this concept? So you have to take it like in terms of different levels that need different strengthening. And at the same time, when you look at even implementation, you have to also strengthen it there also, because you have got headers. In case of our project, our program, we've got headers that play a key role. You've got farmers who are doing the real cropping that play a key role. You've got also livestock owners who have got the tool that is necessary or that drives our program. So you see how you have to build trust. They have to trust you to say, if I give them or if I allow my neighbor to have my livestock overnight, will it be taken good care of? Will I see it well in the morning? Will I also get the same, what I cannot say favor, but the same service that my neighbor has gotten from me, where once they are done imparting his or her field, they come to my field. So it's all about trust and building that trust, and also remembering that whatsoever that we do is on collaborative basis. It's not like one group is going to do everything, but we have to collaborate, be it in terms of the expenses that we incur in the project. There are some that we have to collaborate on, especially let me take you back a bit on the livestock health management activity that we do. It's not entirely the organization that is bearing the expenses, but the organization together with farmers have got that mutual understanding to say the organization has got a certain percentage that they bring on board, and the communities through their community fund also bring a certain amount to the table, because at the end of the day, we are both working together. It's not like iGugu Trust is working for. No, we are working together to achieve these results.
Wow. Thank you, Smo.
Thank you.
The partnership and establishing many wins on the journey, and establishing that place of trust that
Yes.
we have everyone trusting the process to a place of actual
Yes.
implementation. I think
Yeah.
I have a friend who also always says, doing any plan or drafting a grazing plan will take
Mhm.
you maybe 30 minutes, but implementation
Yeah.
take a well-collaborated community. So Sibo, I'm going to give you
Yeah.
just a few more minutes to just take us through your own reflections, and we can wrap up our beautiful time together.
Okay, let me summarize a bit with the previous slide that we
Yes.
I just passed this one, the community-based research documentation. I'm afraid I cannot skip it, because
Your
it's
passion.
one of our, if I can say in quotes,
Yeah.
my passion and
Yeah.
the new child in the market.
Yes.
We are so grateful for the partners that are working with us on this one, because they have even made everyone involved in the program aware that community-based research and documentation is very critical, especially for farmers to have those skills to research, to document, because those two skills, they help them to tell their story better. So in brief, we were able through partnering with one of the network partners, which is Pelham, we're able to engage 10 farmers to be co-researchers, as you can see them there. And these co-researchers have gone through focus group discussion, training, and they've done the focus group themselves also. They've gone through questionnaires and like using them as a research method. And also they've done interviews as research methods. So for us, that is like amazing because it made us really appreciate as an organization that participatory action research is very key, because through the participatory action research that they did, we were able to sort of understand what exactly our weakness as an organization in this program. And also it has given us a platform where we are getting real data, because it is the farmers that are collecting the data. It's not like fabricated. So in such cases where participatory action research is used, peer-to-peer, that is farmer to farmer, people are easy to open up to each other. People are easy to sort of understand because it's a peer-to-peer, one farmer explaining to the next farmer what the program is all about and what the research will be all about. So there's that trust. I'm sorry to use it again, but there's that trust to say, okay, honestly, what I'm saying here is going to remain confidential, the ethical consideration. What I'm saying here is exactly what my peer will understand better than when they had sent a field officer, you see. So community-based research has been very, very amazing and awesome for us as an organization. So moving on to the lessons learned. Okay, I'll summarize them because I feel like I will say a lot if I use that slide. But what we have learned is that nature functions in wholes. So we cannot really do regenerative agriculture and say, I'm going to pick on, let's say, I'm going to pick on vegetation to focus on. But vegetation relies on healthy soils. So we cannot really remove one pillar from the equation. We have to look at it as a whole for us to really achieve the good results, because ecosystems cannot operate as just separate from each other. And also we have realized that farmers are the cornerstone of this regenerative agriculture. The reason being that, just like what I said, to say they need the platform to lead. They need the platform to research. They need the platform to document, because they are the implementers of the project. They understand it better. So once you say implement and then we're going to do the research and documentation, we are likely to get biased information from them, because they'll feel like they've been excluded in the whole equation of research and also of the whole program as a whole. It feels like organization come to take only. They don't want to make them owners of the programs. So we are saying farmers are the cornerstone of this regenerative agriculture movement. So yeah, basically I think that's that. And maybe the last statement that is on my summary is that iGugu Trust works in land, economic, and social regeneration. Just like you have seen in the pillars that we are working in. Is from, we've got the land, and then we get to economic, and then we get to social regeneration. So basically that's that, Precious. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sibo. And thank you for keeping the connections going throughout the whole story. In the end, for a
Okay.
thriving ecosystem, a thriving local
Yes.
economy, and a thriving community that relates well. And I think the reason why this People's Food Summit is so important is that we get to harvest such beautiful stories as yours from the little corner of Zimbabwe, but it's relatable, I'm sure, to everyone across the world.
Yes.
So thank you, Sibo, and good luck with the rest of your journey ahead. And we look forward to a lot more stories. Thank you, Sibo.
Thank you, Precious. Thank you. Bye.